Hey guys, welcome to the 44th video of the playlist on how to use SolidWorks for beginners. For those who are new to the channel, the link of the playlist is given in the description box below, or you can simply click on the I button which is present on the right top corner of your screen. In this video, we will be understanding the fill pattern feature. Okay. Now, before moving on to the fill pattern, as you can see that I have already created a 3D model so that our time does not get wasted. In this particular 3D model, the boss extrude 1 refers to this rectangular slab and the cut extrude 1 refers to this hole that I have created. Now suppose if I want multiple copies of this hole, so what I will do is that I will go here and I will select fill pattern. Now in the fill pattern, the first job that you must do is to select either the feature or the face. Now here we want the pattern of this hole, am I right? So this hole is nothing but a feature. See, cut extrude 1. Cut extrude 1 refers to nothing but a feature. So I am going to select a feature over here. See, features to pattern, and I am going to select this particular hole. Okay. So can you see now I am getting cut extrude 1 over here. Now guys, after this thing is done, the next job is to select the fill boundary. Now what is the meaning of a fill boundary? See, you want multiple copies of this hole, right? But there must be certain boundary where the copies must stop. So for that, I am going to select this particular top face to be my boundary. See, can you see? Now here you are getting multiple copies of the hole on this particular surface. Okay. Now the second thing is to select the pattern layout. In the pattern layout, there are 4 different options available. The perforation, then you have the circle. See, can you see? Now the pattern has changed. Now you are getting circles. See, can you observe circles? See, circles, second circle and the third circle. Okay, and after this you have the square. Okay, and the fourth pattern layout is the polygon. Okay, can you observe polygon over here? See, this is one side, this is another side, this is another side, this is one more side. It is difficult to observe a polygon as compared to the other pattern layouts. Now I am going to tell you all each pattern layout individually. Okay, so starting from the circular, okay, because it is better to visualize, therefore we are going to start from the circular pattern layout. Now in the circular pattern layout, the first option that it is asking us to select is the loop spacing. Now before understanding what is loop spacing, first we must understand what is a loop. Okay, so this, can you see the inner circle first? See, this small circle that is being formed. Can you observe this? This is nothing but your loop number 1. Then you can you observe the second circle? See, this circle, second circle, the bigger circle. This is nothing but your loop number 2. Similarly, here you have the loop number 3. Okay, so any closed circle or any closed geometry is nothing but your loop. So here you can easily observe 3 loops that are present. Actually there are 4 loops present. If you observe, see, this particular whole thing is the 4th loop. Okay, but I hope that you have at least got to know the meaning of the loop. Now loop spacing, see, this is for loop spacing. Let us consider the first loop and let us consider the second loop. Now between these 2 loops, the distance between these 2 loops is called as the loop spacing. I repeat myself, the distance between these 2 loops is called as the loop spacing. So now it is 19.2. Suppose if I increase to 25, then you will observe that the distance between 2 consecutive loops will increase. Okay, see, if I observe, see, let's make it 25, and now you can observe that the distance between the first loop and the second loop has increased, plus the distance between the second loop and the third loop has also increased. And because you increase the loop spacing, therefore now here there are only 3 loops present, whereas earlier there were 4 loops present. Clear? Now here there are 2 options available: target spacing or instances per loop. We will explore both of them individually. First we will select target spacing. Now in the target spacing, here we have to select the instance spacing. Now what is instance spacing? Before understanding instance spacing, it is important to know what is instance. See, any particular copy is your instance. Any copy, whether it be this circle, this circle, this circle, this circle, any circle is nothing but called as your instance. Now suppose the distance between both of them, see, this is your one instance, this is your another instance. Distance between both of them is called as instance spacing. Now here you will observe, guys, that if I increase instance spacing from 19.2 to 20, you will observe that the distance between both the instances will increase. Okay, see, if I make it 24, can you see the distance between two instances has now increased? It is as simple as that. Clear? Now after moving on from the instance spacing, we have another option available, that is margins. Now margins is nothing but the simple margin that we draw while drawing anything. Okay, on a sheet we have a margin. Similarly here also we have a margin. Now let me explain you what is margin in this case. See, this rectangle, outer rectangle, can you observe, guys? This hole, this is nothing but your outer edge. Am I right? This is your outline, this is your boundary. So if you decide a margin of particular length, suppose if I make the margin to be 10 mm, then what will happen is that at a distance of 10 mm from this outer edge, there will be no instance or there will be no multiple copies. See, if I make it 10 mm, see, all these copies that are present are at least at a distance of 10 mm from the outside edge. See, the boundaries which are close to the edge are no longer present. Why? Because they were not away at a distance of 10 mm. See, if I make it 0 mm, you will observe that there were some instances present here as well. See, if I make it 0, see, there is instance present here as well. There was instance present here as well. But as soon as I made the boundary to be 10 mm, what happened? These instances are not at a distance of 10 mm, but they are at a distance less than 10 mm. Therefore, these instances will automatically get skipped. Clear? Suppose if I make it 10, again you will observe that these instances will get skipped. See, can you observe? If I make it 20, then some few more instances will get skipped. Can you observe? See, the least distance between the multiple copies and the outermost edge is 20 as of now. Currently it should be 20. It can be greater than 20, but at least it should be 20 mm. Clear? Let's make it 0. Okay. Now after this, here you can find out how many counts are present. You can find out the count of the instances. Currently there are 27 copies that are being present. Therefore we are getting 27 as the count over here. Now when you move down, guys, here you have to select either features or faces that we have done in the start itself. Here you select the features. Similarly, it is not necessary that you can only select a feature. Instead, you can even select a face. Okay, any face that you want to multiply. Okay. Similarly, you can even select bodies if you want. If you select bodies, then for now the complete whole thing will get selected and the mesh will be created. Therefore, I am only selecting features as of now. But you can select bodies as well. Okay. Now here, if you drop down this menu, then you have other options available like instances to skip. Okay. Now if I click on instances to skip, I can select any particular instance. Suppose if I don't want this instance, then this instance will get automatically skipped. If I don't want this instance, then this will get automatically skipped. Similarly, you can choose any instance that you do not want and that instance will not be displayed. Okay, let us delete all these clear sections. Now guys, here there is one more option available, that is nothing but instances per loop. So let us select this particular option and now it is asking us to define the number of instances. Okay, so suppose in one circle, if you want 10 instances, see, can you see, now there are 10 instances present in one particular circle. Okay, if you look in the first circle or whether you look in the second circle, there will be 10 instances present. Clear? And here again there is nothing but loop spacing, which we have done just now. Okay, and after this there is margins, which we have already seen, and the rest options are same as it is. Clear? Okay, so guys, I hope that the second pattern layout, that is circular pattern layout is very much clear for you. Now moving on to the first pattern layout, that is nothing but the perforation. Now as soon as I clicked on perforation, you can clearly observe that there is now change in the pattern, there is change in the design of the layout. Okay, clear? Now the first thing that you must describe here is the instance spacing. Now you know what is instance spacing. Okay, so if I increase the instance spacing to 24, you can observe that the two consecutive instances will move away from each other. Can you see? Now the instances have moved away from each other. Now here you can define the angle that you want. Okay, so here suppose if I want the angle to be 30 degree, see, now can you see the orientation has changed, and as the orientation changes, the number of instances will also change according to the orientation. Clearly? Okay. Now after moving on, here again there are margins. You know what is margins, that I have already explained you. Okay, now similarly at the bottom you have the same features options available. Okay, now after this, after understanding the perforation, now let us move on to square. Now when you move on to square, the first thing that it is asking you is the loop spacing. Now what is the loop in this case? Obviously you have selected square pattern, therefore this square that is being formed, see, this one complete square is nothing but a single loop. Then this is your second loop, the bigger square is nothing but your second loop. Clear? So there are two loops and you have to define the distance between both of them. Suppose if I make it 20, then you will observe that the loops will come closer to each other. Can you see? Now this is the first loop, this is my second loop, and the loops have came closer to each other. And you can observe that as I decrease the loop spacing, therefore there is space for the third loop to get added as well. Okay, now after this there is instance spacing. Now in instance spacing, what is instance spacing? You know, the distance between two particular instances. See, this is my first instance, and besides this there is another instance. Suppose if I increase the distance between both of them, then they will move apart from each other, they will move away from each other, and if I decrease the distance, then they will come closer to each other. Okay, suppose if I make it 20, you will observe that they will come closer to each other. Can you observe? Since they have come closer to each other, now similarly here you are having instance spacing. So you know what is instance spacing now, and I hope that I don't have to repeat it again. Now after this, here you have margins, which you have already understood. Now as you move down, there are same options available, nothing more to explore here. And now guys, let us understand the second option that is available, that is instances per side. Now in instances per side, here you have to define the number of instances that you want on one side. So basically this is your one side. If you consider the second loop, then this is your one side, this is your second side, this is your third side, and this is your fourth side. So in one particular side, how many instances you want, that you have to define here. Suppose here currently it is 10, but if you make it 5, then you will observe that now there are only 5 instances available. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you observe? So in one side there are currently now only 5 instances available. Okay, It is as simple as that. Okay, now guys, let us move on to the fourth pattern layout, that is nothing but the polygon. Now as you move on to the polygon, it is very difficult to observe the polygon. You cannot observe it very easily. Okay. Now first thing it is asking you for is the loop spacing. Loop spacing is what we have done 2 to 3 times as of now in this video. Okay, now here you have to define the polygon sides. Now what is the meaning of polygon sides? If you observe this small polygon guys, observe carefully. Here there is one side, or what we will do is that we will observe this second loop polygon. It is better as compared to the first one. See, this is your first one, first side, second side, slanting side, then you have the third side, then you have the fourth side, then you have the fifth side, sixth side, seventh side, eighth side, ninth side, and the 10th side. So basically there are 10 sides present in a polygon. So suppose if you make it 5, then now you will observe that, see, now you can clearly observe 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now the polygon has 5 sides present in it. Okay, now here in the instances per side, you can define the number of instances in each side. Suppose if I make it 3, then you will observe that in one side now there is 1, 2 and 3 instances. Okay, again there are margins present, and the below options are similar to the previous patterns. Okay, now here if you move on to the target spacing, in target spacing it is first asking you to define the instance spacing. We know what is instance spacing, then the margin spacing. It is as simple as that. Okay, so let us click on OK and let us observe how our pattern is going to look like. See, now guys, here there is one more interesting option available, that is nothing but create seed cut. Now if you click on create seed cut, what happens here is that, see, ours is nothing but a circle, right? See, this is our circle, right? But suppose instead of circle, if you want any other shape, that is square, or whether you want diamond, or whether you want any particular polygon, then you can choose that as well. And here you can define the dimensions of either the polygon, the diamond, or the square, or even the circle that you are going to choose. Okay, but instead of selecting the create seed cut, what we have done is that we have selected the feature that we want. So since we have selected the feature, and our feature is nothing but a circular hole, therefore you are getting holes in the form of a circle. But if you do not have any feature, or then what you can do, then you can simply go to create seed cut, and then you can choose any shape, and accordingly you can decide the dimensions of it. Okay, now guys, please do not have a misconception in your mind that I can only perform extruded cut using this particular pattern. No, I can even perform extruded boss base or any other feature using this pattern. Just for the sake of example, I have selected a cut extrude feature. Okay, instead of that I can even select the boss extrude feature, no problem in that. Okay, so this is a very quite useful feature that you will be using very often. And guys, I hope that you have understood what is fill pattern, and if you have understood what is fill pattern feature, then please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and guys, go check out other videos on SolidWorks on my channel. They might be helpful for you all. And guys, thank you for watching this particular video.